favorite products in the month of December of 2022 now that we are in 2023. And actually in December, though I posted pretty much every single day, I didn't try a lot of new products. The makeup launches were quite minimal until the end, and most of the videos I posted were just roundup videos, so it was rounding up older products that I tested throughout the year, and those are what my videos are based on. So I actually also ended up going home for 2 weeks of December, so I definitely hardly had any time to try new makeup. So a lot of this month's favorites are older favorites that I either rediscovered or re-fell in love with, or packed into my makeup bag while I traveled, and I was forced to use these, and I ended up really enjoying them. So let's go ahead and get started with primer. The first item that I have is from Rephr Beauty. I've featured this in favorites before, but I actually forgot how good it was. So this is the Rephr Beauty Illuminating Primer. Now normally when it comes to Rephr Beauty, my favorite primer from them is the Pore Diffusing Primer, I believe, because it's really smoothing to the skin. And I always forget they also have this illuminating one. So when I packed this, I actually thought it was my Pore Diffusing one, but it's the illuminating one, and my oh my, it's really, really nice. It does create a very illuminated base. So if you're not looking for that illumination, this one's not going to be for you. It does not look good on bare skin. You definitely want to put some products over top, but it's strong enough to show through your products. And I really like the consistency of it. It doesn't bother my skin. So overall, I was pleasantly surprised about this. When it comes to Rephr Beauty, I always think of their pore diffusing primers. So this was a pleasant surprise to use and really enjoyed it. So yeah, don't sleep on that one. Now foundations, I'm actually like this, I tried December 30th, so we were almost at the very last day of the year, but I've been really enjoying it. The MakeupByMario Surreal Skin Foundation. I definitely recommend that you check out my review. My feelings are pretty similar to what I thought in that review. It's not the most hydrating foundation, so you're definitely going to want to hydrate your skin and prep beforehand, but this is extremely long wearing and it looks so good. If you have dry skin, as long as you prep, I think you will enjoy this. It can look a little bit dry as the day goes on, so I would keep it minimal with powder, but it's really impressive with how long it wears even with minimal powder. So every time I wear this, I just feel like my skin looks really perfected, very perfect. It's not a natural foundation by any means. It's a I want my makeup to look good kind of foundation. So I've really been enjoying this. It does have a slight glow to it, but honestly, once I put my other products on top, I find the glow to kind of disappear, but it overall just makes my skin look really smooth, really poreless. Well, actually, I'm kidding. It's not a poreless foundation, but my skin does look quite smooth and perfected with a lot of coverage, surprisingly. So I'm still enjoying this, but my number one thing with this foundation is I am loving the wear time on this. My face looks great all day. Next up, I have a cream bronzer, and this one never really fell out of my favorites, but I did bring this with me during the holidays, and I just love it so much that I wanted to talk about it because I use it every single day in December, well, that I was gone. So this is the MakeupByMario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in light medium. This is the best tone for my skin in terms of contouring slash just getting a little bit of warmth to my face. It's not the most malleable formula, but it lasts a really long time, and you can easily aid it with using a tool. I like to put my tool directly on the product, and I get a really even coverage with it as well. It doesn't look patchy whatsoever, so this is like one of the best products from MakeupByMario. I love this. Use this all month. I have a contouring kind of product, so I wasn't expecting for this to become a favorite, but man, I was really nose contouring while I was at my parents'. I feel like the makeup I did while I was at my parents' was special because I had nothing to do, so I really went in on all of the makeup looks that I did and really tested the products and saw what I thought of them. And I found the Kaleido Symphony Contour Trio in the shade medium for myself to be extremely useful. I was doing a lot of nose contouring, which I did today with this, and it really is a simple shaping palette. And even though I use bronzer, I find myself reaching for this to just do touch-ups on the face. Like if I want my cheekbones to look a little deeper, I'll go into one of these shades and just pop some of the brown right here, or to sharpen my jawline. And if I feel like I want more of a structured face, I'll use the highlight powder to kind of get out of here or brighten in the center of my face. It's been a very, very useful palette for me. These powders are really creamy. They have a good amount of pigment, but they're still blendable, very effective, and great for finishing off makeup and just giving them that final extra bit of snatch. And then the bronzer that I used all month is one that I fell out of love with, I would say. It's not that I ever disliked this formula, but there was a lot of formulas that I preferred. But this month I got a lot of use out of the Gucci bronzing powder in the shade 01, which is a little bit pinkier, but I've been using a lot more pinky blushes for the winter. So I found myself using this one a lot because it complements the blushy tones that I've been using. Wow, what a stunning formula this is. It is a very pricey bronzer. I don't necessarily recommend it if you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on a bronzer, but I have to say applying the formula has just felt so effortless and it looks so good. It smells great. It's about the luxury experience with this. I love the packaging. I can't believe I even traveled with this. That's how much I was feeling it. But yeah, this was the powder bronzer that I've been using. Now this next product I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel, so I'm really excited about rediscovering this. This was a throw it in my makeup bag before I traveled and see if I used it, and man, I used it almost every day. This is from Chanel and it's the Lace Beiges blush in the shade 21 New Lily. So it's a cream blush and it is the most gorgeous pink. I wore this in a couple videos and so many of you are like, what's the color on your cheeks? It was this. So this is like one of my current new favorite blushes. I purchased it a really long time ago, honestly. Potentially could be expired, and I never really reached for it. I kind of forgot I had this, to be honest. And then I started using it in December, and oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful pink cream blush. It lasts a long time for it being cream. Look at that. If you like cream blush and you like pink colors, you need to try this color. It was absolutely perfect for the winter. Again, almost like the Makeup by Mario, it's not super malleable, but it lasts a long time. And it just looks so good that I don't care, and it still is quite workable in terms of blendability as long as you apply it right. But wow, this has been my favorite pink blush. Chanel killed it with this. Very bougie of me, right? And then I do have a couple powder blushes that I was using a lot just overall in the winter that kind of, I didn't talk about them because they weren't as new, but I kept reaching for them. So this one is from Kaleidos. I'm gonna put the name of the blush on the screen because it's not on the packaging, but this is from their single blush collection, and it's just this blue-based pink, which is perfect for winter. What's very popular right now is that cold girl makeup look. This is gonna give it to you. So if you're looking for that Kylie blush dupe, the Dior blush dupe, this one, it has a little bit more warmth. Kind of. It's not the exact same, but it gives pretty much the exact same effect on the face. So if you're looking for that blue-based pink to give that cold girl look, I really like this. And I love kind of putting this on top of other blushes. I find it's great for layering just for that finishing cold touch. Just put it right on the apples and a little bit on the nose and it's perfect. It's not overly pigmented. But another one that I've been really liking, I find I like a good peachy pink blush, and this one from Benefit's really good in the shade Shelly. They came out, was it this summer, with these individual blushes in new shades, and I like them. I knew I liked them, but I didn't reach for them as much because they're individuals. I love a good blush palette, but the shade Shelly if I'm reaching for an individual blush, I want it to be like this one. It's a little bit corally. It was really great in the summertime, but I've still been reaching for it in the winter, and it's very creamy, applies really nice. Benefit has a really good formula in these box blushes, so I wanted to give Shelly a little shout out because I've been reaching for her a lot. Now, this was a new launch in December, and quite frankly, it was amazing. In fact, I covered this in a couple videos. So this is the Rephr Beauty Highlighter. Oh my gosh. So the thing is, when these launched, I was not excited about them at all because powder highlights, you know, I have so many in my collection. We went through the powder highlight phase, felt a little outdated to me, right? I just wasn't excited. Like, how many more highlighters can I have? What difference could they make? Dang, this is a good formula. I was shocked. I was not expecting this, and this is what Rephr Beauty was gonna have to do if they came out with a powder highlight, because I feel like so many of us are like, oh, to powder highlights. They had to come out with a good formula, and they sure as heck did. I love these. So I picked up three shades actually. I have a lighter shade, which I forgot to put in my swatches, I'm sorry. And then I also have Exhilarate and Mesmerize. I find myself reaching for Mesmerize a lot, which is the pinky base. Now, these are a beautiful, very lightweight formula. You can get a pretty soft glow if you go light-handed, or if you don't even go heavy-handed, but if you go in normally, it is going to give you quite a strong glow. Sinks into the skin seamlessly. It is an amazing formula. One of the best powder highlights that I've tried in a very, very long time. I know Charlotte Tilbury did just launch hers. I did film a review on those. Love those as well, but they didn't launch in December. I have been loving these. I use these nonstop since I've received them, so these are awesome. A really great highlighter. Since the Charlotte Tilbury are $48, while I do really enjoy the Charlotte Tilbury, these are $25, so that almost makes them seem cheapish, right? For lips, I'll get into eyeshadow palettes next, but lips, I'm not wearing it right now, but I took advantage all of December of wearing red lips because I'm not wearing red lips on an everyday basis. I used to, but honestly, it's just really messy, especially if you're eating and drinking throughout the day. But pretty much if I was wearing makeup in December, I had it paired with a red lip. And the winner chicken dinner of December of 2022 for the red lip competition is Charlotte Tilbury Red Hot Susan. This is a red hot lipstick, which is exactly what I wanted since I've been very boring with my lips this past year. I wanted something hot and red to stand out, and this is what I wore most of the time. I did wear a few different reds, of course. I have a lot in my collection, but this is the one that was my favorite because I love the packaging. It lasts a long time considering it's a cream lipstick. It's quite comfortable, and it's just a beautiful shade of red. So this was my red lipstick of the year, and she got a lot of use in December. The final two products I have are eyeshadow palettes, and guess what, you guys? They're both from Colourpop. I think the palettes that I tried from Colourpop were just really, really good. Starting off with what I have on my eyes right now, this is the Aurora Struck eyeshadow palette. So this did launch earlier in December, and look at this. It is such a fun palette. You have blues, greens, and purples. It's a very cool toned palette, perfect for the winter time, and yes, it created this beautiful look today. So let me show you how I got this look. It's quite simple. I started off with the shade Phenomenon, which is this matte dark green, and I blended it into the outer corner of the eye. And then to deepen it up, I took a little bit of the shade Orca, which is this dark bluish color, and I put that a little bit lower in the outer corner just to add some depth. I went in with a shader brush in the shade In Orbit, which is this dark shimmering green color, and I placed that in the center of the eyelid. Really happy with this shade because sometimes Colourpop shadows can be really powdery when it comes to the shimmers. Not in this case. Like, while it was powdery, it at least stuck to my eyelid, which is something that a lot of Colourpop shades don't do, so this was very nice. And then I did have about a third of my inner corner naked, so I went into Arctic Fox right here, and I applied that to the inner corner as well as the inner corner of the lower lash line to brighten things up. And then to finish it off for the inner corner highlight and the below the brow bone highlight, I used Head North, which is quite a stark shimmery white, just right there in the center of the inner corner. And this is what we got. I did use a dark green eye pencil for the eyeliner today to keep it very green, but I really enjoyed this look. And I mean, quality on this is really great from Colourpop. They can be hit or miss for me, but especially for the price point and for these colors, which typically are harder to formulate, I think they did a great job with this. So this was a phenomenal palette from Colourpop. I really liked this one. And then the other Colourpop palette, I saw it was sold out, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but this is what I wore for 2 weeks straight when I was visiting my parents, because I wanted to wear red lips, so I wanted something a little bit more subdued. This is the Fairy Well eyeshadow palette. Honestly, it's just a cool toned neutral palette. Lots of gray based colors in here, some really pretty lid shades. There's actually two somewhat kind of pressed glitters, but it's almost a hybrid between a really shimmery formula and then some pressed glitters. I don't notice anything falling out. It just adds really pretty glitters to the eyes. So I love this formula, and then the corresponding mattes are really great. So I've been doing a lot more simple eyes to pair with red lips, and this was the palette. If this ever comes back into stock, highly recommend it if you like the cooler kind of neutral style eyes. This from Colourpop's really nice quality. Phenomenal price, great curation of colors. You have a lot of versatility with this palette. So this was my most used palette, I would say, in December. And then the last item I have to talk about is my purse of the month. And again, it's all very based around what I wore for the holidays, which was this guy from Kate Spade. I actually did end up posting a full reveal and unboxing of this, of this eyeshadow palette, of this purse. It also does come with a crossbody. I got this on super discount for Black Friday. It has a shape very similar to the Prada re-edition, which I liked, and I wasn't sure how much use I was going to get out of this considering how sequiny it was, but it ended up being perfect for the holiday season. Just with the looks and the sweaters that I was wearing, this really dressed it up. It looked festive, but it still went with my outfits. It wasn't obnoxious. So yeah, I got a ton of use out of this one in December. It definitely is my purse of the month. Unfortunately, they do not have it any longer on the Kate Spade website, but they do have a lot of their glittery holiday purses, so I will link those down below for you to take a look at, but I love that one. So that's all I have for this month's favorites. Honestly, some really great products. I'm excited that actually a lot of these products were products that had been sitting in my collection that I pulled out and re-fell in love with. So let me know what some of your favorite products were for the holidays. What was your go-to red lip if you were rocking that? And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys, have a good one.